This is where dreams are born. Million.
As they say, second time's the charm. I hate when I'm trying to do a video and all of a sudden I get text messages. Like, where were these messages when I wasn't recording? What is up and hello? Welcome to or welcome back to my channel, Ellen Reads. My name is Will, and today I want to talk to you about some stinky reads, aka my least favorite reads of 2023. Okay, so I am re-recording this video because I had originally came home after work today and I was like, okay, let me record this video. When I say it was a straight dumpster fire.
Mister, are you okay? Are you okay, mister? Mister, you don't look so good.
It was straight poor gasoline sewer sludge. Every ounce of alcohol into the dumpster, light a match, set it on fire. That's exactly what happened earlier. Metaphorically, whatever. As you can see, I have no idea what this video even is going to be, but it's okay. Thank you for being here anyway. So, as we were getting into it, stinky reads. My least favorite reads of 2023. I do want to say first and foremost, when I say stinky reads or my least favorite reads, I'm not here to dog on any author's work. I will absolutely never ever do that because I know just how much blood, sweat, tears, and a person's soul goes into creating a book. However, books are subjective. They're an art form, you know. Everybody is meant to have an opinion about it. So in this video, I'm just going to talk to you briefly about 3 books that I read in 2023 that just did not land for me. Okay, so the first book that we're going to talk about, and this may be very controversial, only because of how well known of an author this person is. She is also one of my top favorite authors.
And it really hurt my soul to put this review up on Goodreads.
But that book would have to be Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare. Now listen, y'all.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
When I say that the rating that I gave Chain of Thorns by Cassie Clare hurt my spirit, I mean that the whale that swallowed up Jonah
Kept him in his stomach for 3 days.
swallowed his spirit whole, and then later spit him out on the beaches of Nevaeh. That's what my spirit felt like when I wrote my review. You guys, if you know Cassie Clare, you know that she is the author of the Shadowhunter Chronicles. She has been writing about this world since, I want to say, 2008. I believe that's when she released City of Bones, which is the very first book of the Shadowhunter Chronicles, and one of the many reasons as to why so many of us fell in love with the Shadowhunter world. You guys, Chain of Thorns, which is the 3rd installment within the Last Hour series. The Last Hour series is a sequel to the very first series, The Dark Artifices. Nope.
What did he say?
The Infernal Devices. You see just how confusing it is. Anyway, Chain of Thorns, the Last Hour series. I really don't know what happened. When Cassie Clare released that she was going to write a sequel to the beloved Infernal Devices series, the series that introduced us to the characters Will, Jem, and Tessa, some of my all-time favorite characters just in general. When she mentioned that she was going to write a sequel to that series, I will let you know that I was a bit hesitant because the Infernal Devices was a series where it was created, I feel, to be able to stand on its own 2 feet. The Infernal Devices first acted as a prequel to the Mortal Instruments, which is the main series of the Shadowhunter Chronicles. But what Cassie Clare decided to do was that she decided to go back and try to fill in some gaps between the timelines of the different characters. Which, okay, there's really nothing wrong with that. However, when it came to the Last Hour series, which gave us Chain of Gold, Chain of Iron, and Chain of Thorns, I feel like at this point, Cassie began to kind of do a little too much. But that's okay. It's totally okay. So the Last Hour series follows the lives of the children of Tessa and Will and many other characters within the Infernal Devices world. I believe that the Last Hour series actually takes place in the Edwardian era, and the Infernal Devices takes place in the Victorian era. Or I could have those backwards. I digress. Now, going into the Last Hour series, I thoroughly enjoyed Chain of Gold. I thought that it set up the world for these new characters great. Chain of Iron, I will say that it was just a little bit lackluster, only because Cassie has become so good at drawing out certain scenes and certain scenarios to the point where it's just kind of like, why? Cassie Clare, I am finding she is a character writer, meaning that more of the plot is going to revolve around the characters and their emotions and what they're going through. She's not a plot-driven writer, at least not for this series. And there's really nothing wrong with that because it helps the reader to equate more to these characters. When I was first introduced to Will and Tessa and Jem and probably the most famous character out of the entire series, Magnus Bane, I fell in love with them and I related to them so much. But when it came to the children of Will and Tessa and the other characters within the Infernal Devices, it was extremely lackluster. And that's not to necessarily say that the characters were lackluster. It was just the fact that Cassie began to reuse certain tropes that she had already used within the Infernal Devices. As I was reading about Cordelia and James and the rest of the Merry Thieves gang in the Last Hour series, I kept wondering to myself, why are these exact same characters going through the exact same thing that their parents went through? Like, it's not making sense. If it was set up to be like a sort of generational curse type situation, you know, where the children kind of inherit the sins of their parents, okay, but explain that in the story. No, Cassie set up these characters to go through their own scenarios, their own heartaches, their own chaos, their own mayhem, and everything else in between. But what really made me shelve Chain of Thorns is the fact that a lot of the writing in Chain of Thorns did not feel as if it came from Cassie herself. I'm not saying that it absolutely didn't. I have no evidence. And I'm not here to knock Cassie Clare. Again, she is one of my very favorite authors of all time. However, knowing some of the publishing world that I know, it is known for well-known authors to have ghostwriters and the publisher not even say so. Only because it helps the author to continue to push out more and more books. It's unnecessary. Again, I'm not saying that this is what happened with the Last Hour series. I am not saying that this is exactly what Cassie Clare did or what her publisher did. I'm just saying that the Last Hour series did not land where a lot of Cassie Clare's fans, myself included, were left empty. But I digress. On Goodreads, I gave Chain of Thorns 2 stars. It is the lowest amount of stars that I have ever given a Cassie Clare book. I'm hoping that it is going to be the first and the last because she has more books coming out within the Shadowhunters world. I'm so excited to get to those. I've come this far in this journey with the Shadowhunters Chronicles. I'm not giving up now. Okay, and my next final two books are actually a part of the same series. I don't know what happened, y'all, because I was somewhat excited to read this series, and I am absolutely okay with continuing on with this series. However,
Five minutes later.
sorry, camera issues. But anyway, when the first two books in this series leave me with such a lackluster feeling, I have a hard time trying to pick up the next installment. But anyway, the series would be the Crave series by Tracy Wolff. Okay, so I originally picked up this series because I was talking about it to my best friend. I learned about it from Tathy Cozy's Nook, another great friend. I also heard that it had like some Twilight similarities, which by that notion I should have known, because even though I read the Twilight Saga, it left me with a very visceral feeling. Crave reminds me a lot of Twilight and the Vampire Academy series. There was just a lot with the characters, especially Grace, and I believe the character Jackson, they just do some very stupid stuff sometimes. And I get it, like these characters are young, they're still learning and everything like that. That's all understandable. But the characters, they seemed very two-dimensional to me. The story was very two-dimensional to me. I don't know. I think that I gave Crave 3 stars. Crush, I think I gave 2 stars, maybe 3 as well, which isn't bad. They just weren't my favorite reads of the entire year. I do have the rest of the installment here on my bookshelves. I do plan to continue because I'm not a quitter, but yeah. But anyway, you guys, that is it for this video. Thank you for listening to me ramble on about my stinky reads of 2023. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please also subscribe if you do wish to see more bookish content from me in the future. Hit that bell notification to know the next time when I do upload, and just talk to me down in the comments. I enjoy talking to you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.